20,000 words a day. How many do men say? You men in the room haven't said a word. That would be 5,000, okay? 10.6 million women-owned businesses in this country. 48% of all privately held companies are owned by women. What percentage of consumer decisions in the country today do you make? 85%. What does that mean to a company? I feel very strongly that in understanding where you are today and where you want to be, it's important to understand who you're working with. If I'm delivering to a group of men, they want to know yes, no, here are the 3 points, and we're done. As opposed to, let's explain what we're going through and how we're going to get there, etc. We want to know what is the bottom line and how are we going to get there. Very plain and simply. You get a baseball team, and I get a baseball team. Your team gets a team of all pitchers. Every position on that team is a pitcher. A pitcher is not there to do anything but pitch the ball over the plate. I get a team of a first, second, and third baseman, a pitcher, catcher, and an outfield. Now, who's going to win the game? What makes you different than everybody else in this room? That's diversity too. But what's going to give you an edge? What's going to be, you've got to find that in yourself and then be able to present it. Diversity is something that people normally look at and say, uh-oh, we've got a problem. What's important to me is to say, we've got an opportunity. And by doing that, I've got to engage my audience to believe that there truly is an opportunity to grow. People ask me, public speaking, I'm deathly afraid. What's the biggest fear, even before death, is speaking in public. Well, if you take an acting class, and again, this is my opinion, but I think it's such a great piece of advice, is that once you take the class, what it teaches you, number one, is to be who you want to be. What persona do you want to project to the audience? Assume you could be anybody you want to be. That's the person who you will be, and you'll be able to deliver that message to the audience, whomever that is. If we are presenting to an audience, and what I found, present the facts, don't be emotional, and be brief. Believe in yourself. There is nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it. I'm living proof. I mean, I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. I couldn't afford to go to my senior year in college because, we just I didn't have that kind of background. I didn't come from that. And, it's funny because, talking about a stock or bond, when I joined Merrill Lynch, I didn't know what the heck a stock or bond was, let alone I'm now going to manage them. Forget that, so I think it's all about having the confidence in yourself to say, this is what I want to be doing. Integrity is very important. Don't ever compromise that because you can never get it back. So integrity is something that you really need to have, as you go forward. I think the key, and one of the keys to a successful career, in my opinion, is networking. I always find that no matter who you meet, they're going to teach you something new, you're going to be able to engage them, and you never know. It's such a small world. 6 degrees of separation. With women, it's 2. In 2 degrees, we're going to figure out how we've known each other, who we know together, how we've interacted and grew up next door to one another. Networking is key because it engages and builds relationships. We are great at building relationships. You never can tell who's going to know how you're going to help each other, because that's what it's all about. Men do this phenomenally well. Oh, you bought 2 tickets to my golf outing, I'm going to buy 5 tickets to this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to help each other. We can and will do this really well. By building those relationships, you've met somebody else who may help you get to another level, or you may be able to help at some point within your career. I don't have a natural way to network, so I've got to create my own. I don't ever use the word failure. I say challenge, because challenge means that there's an opportunity to learn from it and grow from it. You may see things as the worst thing that's ever happened, but you know what? There's always good, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and it's up to you to find that. Don't wait for somebody to eliminate your position. Find out where you'd like to be, and now build the case as to why you want to be there. I've got to be able to adapt to change. And sometimes we're not so willing, and that's not going to be successful for you as you build your career. You may think you should be here in 5 years from now, but guess what? If you go on a different track, you may be there in 2 years, or sooner. I like to know I'm here today, where do I need to be tomorrow, and how am I going to get there? And definitely have goals and metrics around it. What I find is when so many people come to me and they want the CEO's job, wait a minute, we have a lot of work to do. You've got a lot of work to get there. Working hard is key. You're not going to come in at 11 and leave at 4 and hope for the best. I love people that could do that. I'd love that kind of job, but that's not the case. You've got to be dedicated, you've got to be engaged, and you've got to work hard and almost pay your dues to get to that next level. It's not going to be given to you. You've got to earn it.